Hey there, Stampers. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another Floating and Fluttering Facebook Live. Let's see here. Here we go. Okay, well, we're a little straighter than we have been the last couple days. Let's just tweak this just a little bit. Okay, we'll see if that's any better. So welcome back. All week long, I have been sharing projects using this beautiful butterfly bundle from the January to June mini catalog. And so far, we created this one on Monday evening, and you can find all the replays on the videos. You can find them either on my blog, where you'll find photos of the projects with a link to the video, or you can check my YouTube channel, or you can just scroll down on my Stamped Treasures Facebook page, so you can find all the replays. And then this one was yesterday's. And today we are going to make a birthday card. All right, so we're gonna use, this is the product of focus. Oops, I keep getting caught here. This is the product of focus, but we're gonna bring in some other products as well. I think most of them we used yesterday as well. I'm just switching up the colors today, but I think most of the products we used yesterday as well. All right, welcome. Good evening, Carol and Susan and Lorraine and Shauna. Welcome, welcome. All right, so we are going to start with some stamping. So this is a photopolymer stamp, and I do find that when you have a Stampin' Pierce mat, it does help. So I've got a scrap piece of paper and my Stampin' Pierce mat, and our color combination today is going to be Crumb Cake, Coastal Cabana, and a touch of black. All right, so we are gonna start, we're gonna need this piece, and we are going to need this piece to begin with. So I've got a piece of Crumb Cake and then a scrap piece of Crumb Cake that we're gonna use. We're also going to stamp on our envelope while we have this out, and I'm going to use this full butterfly set and some Crumb Cake ink. We're gonna do tone on tone stamping. Good evening, Janie. So we are gonna cover the background of this. That's the first thing that we're going to do. So I'm just going to ink it up with Crumb Cake, and I just refilled my Crumb Cake, so this is probably gonna be pretty dark, but that's okay. It will lighten a little bit. So now I'm just kind of moving it around. Actually, I'm going to go down this way. So I'm going to try to get the center first, and then I can always fill in. The other thing I'm going to try to avoid is my butterflies all going in the same direction. So let's turn this upside down. Here we go. That nestles in there nicely. Hey, Susan. So are you guys enjoying these daily Facebook Lives? Would you rather I do daily Facebook? I'm not saying every day all the time, but I'm thinking like once a month, maybe 1 week a month, doing a daily Facebook Live. Or would you prefer for me to do like all 5 projects all in one sitting? That would probably end up being like a couple hours long to do 5 different cards. Because I think this is going to be a new feature. I'm hoping I'll be able to do it during the day once my daughter is working in the hospital and not doing homeschool or schooling at home, classes at home, because it's been a little bit touch and go as far as our Wi-Fi connection with 3 of us working from home. So daily's good. Daily, yeah, okay, daily. And I kind of like this format too, where I pick the stamp set and I use that stamp set for the whole week, because it really gives me the opportunity to show you guys different ways to use it. I'm really enjoying it anyways. Okay, so we stamped that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this little scrap piece, and I only need about 4 inches. So I'm gonna do the same thing and just kind of do a couple along here. Maybe like this. I'll just add another little bit in here just in case I need that. Okay, and then we're also going to do the envelope, except I'm going to do something a little bit different on the envelope. I'm going to stamp the flap. I need another scrap. paper here, a couple more actually. Okay, so I'm going to put another one under here so I don't stamp my mat, but then I'm going to have another one, I've got two more here, off to the side, because what I want to do, actually I could probably use this one. If I slide this down, I think this will work. Okay, so I want this to be a little bit more subtle, so a little bit more toned down, and I'm going to take this, I'm going to stamp it off, and then I'm going to stamp it onto my envelope flap. And see how subtle that is? So I didn't want it to be as dark as that. I wanted it to be almost like, not quite like a watermark, just a little bit more noticeable than a watermark. So I thought stamping off would be perfect. We'll figure out how to do this so that we can get a different direction, get some different images on there. I must admit, I'm kind of enjoying trying to push my creativity in how to decorate the envelopes and the inside of my cards. It's really been stretching me a little bit. It's good. I love it. The key to this is just remembering to stamp off every time. Okay, there we go. So our envelope is done. All right, so we can get rid of all of these scraps. I don't think we need those anymore, right? Not right now anyways. So we'll slide those out of the way. So now we've got a fun little more subtle envelope. We've got our background image, and then this piece I'm going to use for the inside of the card. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take this piece, we can move this out of the way, and I'm going to use the story label punch, which is from the annual catalog, and I'm going to slide it all the way in until it's lined up right with the bottom of the punch, and move it in so it's about, I don't know, half an inch or so from the right hand side. And then pop that out. Okay, so this I'll save for a different project. Now I've got this little window peeking out, and I'm going to bring in a piece of Whisper White cardstock. Now this Whisper White cardstock is just a touch bigger. We're gonna, oh, we have to do something to this first. I'm gonna take some of this beautiful Coastal Cabana ribbon. This is from the Playful Patterns ribbon pack. I think that's what it's called. It's Playful something. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap it around and then tie a knot. So just feed it through. And then I have this nice little knot here. We'll trim that. And we'll trim the end of this. That kind of tied wonky. Let's see if we can make that better. I should have done this before I trimmed it. Let's see. This ribbon is a little bit tricky to tie because it is a little on the stiff side. It's not one of the softest ribbons, but it sure is pretty. Okay, now my ends are going up, but that's okay. All right, there we go, that's better. Okay, and then on here, we are going to pop it up using dimensionals. And I am gonna put one in the middle here. And this is gonna go right in the center of our white cardstock. Good evening, Betty. Welcome, Anne. Hi, Kim. We are using the Floating and Fluttering bundle again tonight. All right, so there we go, we've got that. This is going to go on our card front, which is also crumb cake. Just a standard size card front. And this we're going to put on flat. So for those of you who aren't aware, we have, actually my team and I are putting on an event this weekend. It's called the Celebration Extravaganza. And it's actually all day Saturday, but we've opened the group and we are doing daily Facebook Lives leading up to the event, and it has been so much fun. We've had so much interaction and so much positive feedback so far that we decided to open it up and allow people to register. Obviously it's too late for the make and take kits, so you wouldn't get the make and take kits, but you still have access to all of the content, all of the Facebook Lives that we've already posted, and everything that's to come, and you'll get the PDF afterwards. Like, there is a ton of stuff going on over there. It's been great. So if you're interested in more information on that, it's either free with a $60 purchase or a $35 class fee, and that will give you access to all of the content. And like I said, you don't want to miss out on this event. It's like, we did our first one for World Card Making Day, and I thought it went really, really well. But this one is already great. Like, it's 100 times better than that one even was. All right, so what I've done here is I have got a 1.5 inch circle cut from black cardstock. And I'm just gonna put this right in here. Again, that pop of black. Just loving that little pop of black. Okay, so the outside still needs a bit more, but we're gonna slide it aside for now. And we are going to bring in this piece, and I need a little paper cutter. I'm going to cut this down to 4 inches. And then I'm also going to cut a piece of, I've got a scrap of Coastal Cabana here. Actually, let's bring in my bigger paper cutter first. And I'm just going to cut just a narrow strip, just like maybe a 1/2 inch. Okay. I need this for something else. I need that for the greeting, so that's why I saved that. Okay, so we're going to put, let's do this way. We'll put a little bit of adhesive behind here. Add this so that we have just a touch of that Coastal Cabana showing. We'll trim this off. And then this is going to go on the top of our, I know Coastal Cabana and Crumb Cake look really good together, don't they? I'm sure I must have at some point put them together, but I've forgotten how good they do look. Okay, so then this is going to go on the inside. Just like that. Okay. So now let's finish decorating the outside. So what do I need to do here? Okay, so I'm gonna pull in, I'm gonna use this same many messages that I used last night. And I'm going to do, I wanna make it a birthday card. I don't know, I'm so happy to celebrate these moments with you. That would be good during a normal time. I might do the hooray. I think I'm going to do the hooray, it's your birthday. Okay, so I'm going to pull in my Stamparatus, which is where I have my stamp mounted. So last night I had shared that you can use this a few different ways. You can stamp it all on one sheet, so you get all of these greetings, and then you can use the die, and the die lines up. Now a little tip when you're lining up the die, I found using these little dark images, the stars and the heart, if you line those up, then the rest lines up pretty nicely. So that's a little tip for you if you're cutting these out. So it lines out perfectly. lines up perfectly, and then you get all of these wonderful greetings, and then you can store those however you want. I've seen them stored in tackle boxes according to occasion, so you can keep track. So if you need a quick card made, you can slap a greeting on there. But we are going to use it, because I just want this one, we're going to use it a little bit differently. Okay, so when I use my Stamparatus, I do like to have this flat. I find it easier to ink. So I like to put a little, I'm going to slide this over so you guys can see. I like to put a little stamp case there so that this is flush. It makes it easier to ink. Another great thing is using your Stampin' Spots that you get. If you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, using your Stampin' Spots to ink these is great, because then, especially if it's a smaller stamp on this larger platform, it makes less of a mess around the edges. Okay, so the greeting that I want is this one right here, which is right here. So I'm just going to put this on here like this, and I could take my scrap away, but we might as well just leave it there. Okay, and then I'm just going to make sure that my magnet doesn't interfere with the stamp. Okay, let's get this guy out of the way. Now, if I had my black Stampin' Spot, I could use my Stampin' Spot and just ink that up. I don't have it handy. So I'm just going to use my black Stampin' Right marker. And which one did I say? Hooray. And I'm going to use the side of the marker so that it doesn't fray the tip. And you don't need to push hard. Just a gentle touch will help prolong your ribbon, your markers. You just need to have a light touch, just enough for that ink to transfer to the stamp. Okay, and then we'll stamp this down. And that looks good. So then I'm going to slide this out and I'll pop that down. This, I like to keep a piece of paper in here so that it's it doesn't ink up my silicone mat, and then I can clean it afterwards. I don't need to worry about it right away. Okay, let's put that over here. Okay, so now for the label shape, I think I'm going to do this one. I could do this one. This is the one it's intended to be used with, but I think I want to do this one. I think that one would layer nicely kind of right over there. Okay, so we can trim this down a little bit because otherwise it's not going to fit through the die cut machine. Bring this over. We do need to use the big one. You guys know that my preference is the small one because it takes up much less space, but that's not always an option with these larger dies. Okay, let me just have a look. I'm going to bring it on this side so I can see. Okay, that looks pretty straight. So I'll just run this through. So this is another way that you can use this die, is you can just run through the greetings individually and you can switch up the shape of the label. Okay, so now I've got my greeting on that shaped label, not the one that it was intended to be used with. Okay. So this is going to go right over top of here, and it's going to get popped up using dimensionals. Just like that. Now we could call this done, but I think it needs a colorful butterfly. We've got lots of butterflies on here, but they're just tone on tone. It needs another pop of color. So we're going to bring this back in, and we're going to need our scrap paper and our mat. And I need to clean the stamp because I'm going to use it in a different color. now what I'm going to do is I am going to ink it up with some Memento. And do I have a scrap? I don't have a scrap of white here. Let's grab a scrap of white. Here we go. And I just want the largest butterfly, but I'm not too concerned about getting the rest inked up, so I'm just going to ink up primarily that largest butterfly. I might get some of the other images in there, but that's okay. I'm going to stamp it down. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in some Coastal Cabana ink and this solid butterfly, and stamp it down. Let's just see if this is well inked. Looks okay. Looks like there might be a little spot of something on there. Okay, it's gone. So stamp that down. This is one of those lighter colors where it's really hard to see if it's well inked or not. Okay. And this time I'm not going to add the second color. Thanks, Shauna. Yeah, it adds visual interest having the different shapes in there, but then also the different colors. So we've got the story label shape here. We've got a little bit of white peeking out, so it creates almost like a window. And then we've got the black, which really makes the label pop, the colored label pop. And then we've got another, so that's the center, and then we've got a longer, narrower label in the front. It just adds some visual interest. Okay, so yesterday I had shared how you can cut the whole thing, right? You can use this to cut out the whole thing, but there's also dies in here. So if you just want to cut just the one image, you can do just the one image. So there is one for this butterfly, there's one for the smaller two-winged butterfly, and there's one for the side butterfly, and then also the leaves as well. Okay, so that option is in there. So for this one, we can bring in the little mini machine. So we'll grab that, and I'll grab the plates. Not a normal color combination that not normal colors you would put together, Kim. Sometimes it's fun to try something different. I normally wouldn't put necessarily crumb cake and Coastal Cabana together, but I think with the pop of black that really helps. Okay, so I feed that through. And there we've got our butterfly without having to run through that whole big piece and end up with a whole bunch of what my friend Kathy calls shrapnel left over. Okay, so now we can bring this back. We're going to use the bone folder to curl up the wings, and we can add this on here just like that. Actually, you know what? We're going to do one more thing to this guy. We're going to make him sparkly with a little bit of Wink of Stella. So I've got some clear Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to color in his wings to add just a little bit of sparkle, because we haven't done that to any of our butterflies yet. All right. And then we will add some adhesive just down here. And then this guy's gonna go. Should we point him that way, or should we point him this way? Let's point him this way. All right, there we go. So we have another card. So there's our envelope. There's the card, and then here's the inside. So we could add another butterfly on the inside if we wanted to, but I wanted to share another version of this. So here's another version without so many layers on it. So this is just, I did the same idea, except obviously I left the ribbon off, and all of this is done on the card front, so that when you open it, there is actually a little window here, and this is on the inside. Oh, I love seeing all those little hearts. Thanks, guys. So this is the greetings on the inside. So this is another option. The idea is exactly the same. It's just there's not so many layers. All right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Remember that if you place an order of $60 or more this week using this host code, I will send you the kits to make all 5 of the cards that I'm making this week. And you'll also get an emailed PDF with pictures and links to the videos so that you can easily reference them, and all the dimensions and everything will be in there so that you can keep creating them over and over and over and switch out your colors and just have some fun. All right, let's see here. Just catching up on some comments. Thanks for all the love, guys. Michelle says she never would have chosen this stamp because she's not a butterfly person, but she likes this card. Have you seen, were you watching the other videos? Let me pull back because I shared at the beginning, but I don't know if you were here, Michelle. So all week long I've been playing with this butterfly set. Here is the one I created last night, and it opens up like this. And then this is the one that I created on Monday evening. And then this one has the butterfly on the inside. And all of them have coordinating envelopes, so there's the envelope for that one. I can't even remember what I did. Oh, this one, we had the cluster of butterflies in the corner. All right, so that's what we've got so far. I will be back again tomorrow night at 8 p.m. and then also on Friday. Fridays will be my normal Friday live time at 11 a.m. just because I have something else on Friday evening. So tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Mountain Time and Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And remember, if you want more information on that celebration extravaganza, we'd love to have you join us. Just send me a quick message, comment below. I'll also put the information in the description above after I save this video. All right, so thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will see you tomorrow night. Take care.